Hey everybody, Professor here. Wanted to show you what my wife and I have invested in for some road trips here in the future, and we just got back from one. 18 states, 6,000 miles, and 2 Canadian provinces. We were not able to get our rooftop tent in time, so we ground tented, but we still wanted to be able to have the Overland experience. So we ground tented, and we also put a kitchen in the rear, and that's what I want to focus on this video today, is the kitchen and what we did in the rear to make it where we could use it and live out of it. Do some snacks, do some picnics, do some cooking, different things like that, and we used it quite a bit. We went to Vermont where they had a cheese tour. We were able to load up on cheese. We went to several different places where we were able to pick up local foods, and that's what we like to do. So we wanted to make sure that we had a place where we could store everything in a fridge. We wanted to make sure we had a pantry, wanted to make sure we had a place to cook. So this is what we did, and this is how I made it work on a budget. So here we go. The very first thing that I did was I needed a power source. I didn't want to run the fridge off of the car the whole time, because when the car is off, the fridge goes off, and so it only runs when there's power. So we use the Expion 360 PowerCap. One thing that I would definitely change about this, I did not get a way to charge this with the car while we're going down the road. That would have solved a lot of issues, but we had to use solar a lot. So when we stopped, I would have to swap cords, and I'd have to put the solar on top of the car. It was kind of a pain, but we made it work. We did have our portable bathroom with us, the InstaPrivy, and we did use it. There were several places in Canada where there was no place to stop and use a bathroom, so we always had the InstaPrivy. We had lights that I plugged in. I always kept here right here because they're magnetic. This is metal. They put it right there, and they were able to plug in right there. So we did have those. Our table was squeezed in there to make sure nothing rattled, because my wife can tell you I hate stuff when it rattles in the car. Fold out table. And then our water, which it still has some water in it. This is something I got off Temu. This was $12. Comes with a little hose right here. You just turn the knob, water comes out. So it's real nice and easy. So I'll show you that here in a minute. This was an old filing cabinet that a buddy of mine had. I was deer hunting with him. He had some of these sitting in his garage. He had bought a whole bunch of them for a little or nothing. And I said, what are you gonna do with those? And he said, you can have a couple of them if you want them. And so I brought them home. They were real nice. They're metal. I didn't have to cut anything off of them or shape them in any way. They were absolutely just perfect. So we use these as a place to store. This is our GSI. Has knives, everything, sharpener, everything's in one little thing. So that was pretty nice to have. These are our pots that we cooked in. Real easy. So that comes with a little lid. If you want to boil water to make some ramen or make some noodles or pasta or anything like that, they're hard on the bottom. Has a skillet, 2 pots. One thing we forgot to get was wooden spoons and spatulas that I always love to cook with, so we had to actually grab these on the way. So when you have 2 different overlanding vehicles, it's really hard to make sure that you've got enough stuff in both of them, so we had to pick those up. Soap, we picked up salt and pepper. And then we've got a few shower wipes and stuff in here that we definitely used. Everything has its own little space, fits nice and perfect. Goes like that. In the bottom is our pantry. I've cleaned most of the stuff out. One of the things that we do is we take an old Nalgene bottle, and this is what we store our cooking oil in. So this is full of canola oil. These are hard, and it seals up real good, and it's a perfect size. Trash bags was one thing that we forgot. We had to pick those up. So this is where all this stuff stays, and it makes it easy when we want to go cook or anything like that. Everything is right in its place. Powered by the Expion 360, I've got the cord wrapped around the back so it's not in the way. So this is our fridge. It's the Iceco. I believe it's a 22 liter. So I needed something that I could fit on top of the kitchen, on top of the slides, and it still fits. most of the things that you buy are too long. And so with it being up this high, it was going to have to fit in the space where the window actually goes. I found this fridge slide on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below. But it's a Sam-out, and it's made almost identical to the one that I got from Timbo Tusk. So it is a super heavy duty, but what the deal was is it was too long. So I actually had to completely take it apart and cut it and then put it back together. I had to order shorter drawer slides to make it work, and so it actually works absolutely perfect. So it comes out where you can get to it real easy to get to. We do have a cutting board. This is one of the reasons why I did want this particular style, was that it gave us some cutting board, and it actually is really sturdy because it is anchored to the kitchen. On top of here we keep a towel. Since this slide was not made for this fridge, I actually had some extra room on the side, so I'm able to keep the towel there, and also our geyser shower system, which we did actually use. Took a shower several times. The geyser is amazing because everything fits inside of here.
Water and then mix with the coolant, makes the perfect tea.
So that worked perfect. I did need a way where we could store or carry water, so I do have our bucket here that we could grab some more water out of the pond if we needed to. Our small little table, we have short chairs, so I love a short table. This is our short little table that we always carry and put between our chairs. So this is part of the kitchen that came with it. This is the kitchen that we got off Amazon. I didn't have time to have one completely built from scratch, but
how did she get it?
So this is the kitchen that we found on Amazon. Now there was several things that I was going to have to deal with. This was I was going to need a platform to install it to, and I was not willing to spend the $500 and $600 that they're asking just for a plate that you have to bolt down into the floor in order to be able to get your kitchen in, because if you just sit your kitchen in and you pull it out, it's all going to tilt. And so you actually have to have a way to anchor it to the car for it to work. So what I did was I took a piece of plywood, went and got a small piece of plywood from Lowe's, and the inside of this actually has a protector that you can take out, and it fits exactly to the bottom of the car. So I was actually able to trace that onto the board and cut it out, and I'll show you here in just a little bit how I got it anchored, and that's probably the best engineering part of this whole deal. But this is the kitchen that we got off Amazon. I was able to completely take it apart. It was brown, and it had a few different things that I wasn't pleased with how it worked, but and then you pull this on out, and then it has this that you slide underneath it for stability, and it works really well. I mean, that's not going anywhere. We use our Jetboil system. This is our Jetboil Genesis system. All I have to do is take this up underneath here, screw this in, and it's ready to go. So this is what we made coffee in, we made soup in, we boiled water if we needed to boil water, and it all worked absolutely perfect. So, and all it took to put it back up was that went right there, and it was ready to go back in. So I've been doing this long enough where I want it to be easy to set up, easy to put in, and then easy to put away. This also came with a thing to put paper towels, so you could put it there, you can put it there. I like putting it there because if I put it there, it's probably gonna set on fire. Knives and baggies. Also right here is where that goes, and then this goes right there to wash dishes. So this little drawer has the sink, and we were able to put water in here, wash our hands, wash dishes, different things like that. And we keep our water back here. And that would go in. And all the while this was open, we were able to use the cutting board, which we used quite a bit when we did our picnics. We would put, because this is clean, we would put our meats, our cheeses, anything right here. This is what we would make. And also you're able to open the fridge and get the fridge out while you're cooking. So very convenient. I absolutely loved the total setup of it and how it actually came together. It was very, very perfect for us. So anyway, that's the way that it's set up. Everything is anchored down, and then when we go to take everything out here in just a minute, I will show you exactly how I got the board in there and anchored it down without having to drill into anything in this brand new car. So this is a 2023 car. Now it's got over 10,000 miles, but it had 6,000 miles on it when we left. And I didn't want to drill into anything, didn't want to put holes in anything, so I made this where it just kind of form fitted in there, and it went in there in a different way. It was just something I dreamed up, and it actually worked. So we'll be right back and I'll show you that. Okay, so now we're home. I'm going to unpack everything, and that way I can show you how it all goes together. Things in it, I can still pick it up and set it out. Cord. This is the floor, and I've got these where you twist them and they spread. So I've got a little U clamp right here that's drilled into the board, and then this actually is pressed up in the top of this, so it actually holds the board down. So instead of drilling into here, I was actually able to put some pressure on the seat in order to keep this down. So when the kitchen was open, that was able to come open. So now all I gotta do is twist that and the seat will go down. There's one on the other side as well. Okay, you're able to see how I've got these zipped down to the floor, and this was also wedged up in the top of here. This is actually a connecting point where you can tie things on in the back. So that was around the bar and then wedged up, which held it down. So all I have to do is cut these zip ties and pull it out. That's all that held it in there. So now we have everything loosened away, and I can take this out. Just set it right. I hate this camera sometimes.
From Zoom.
So you can see right here where I've got this tied down, and in the corners, and up here I've got the tie downs for the kitchen. This is where it presses up against the back of the seats on both sides, and then tied down right there. That's the only points where it's tied down. Okay, so this is how I got it to stay in here. Take that out. I've got it anchored here on the point. One of the things about this vehicle that made it hard to be able to do this was that the anchor points were on the side. They were not actually in the floor. There's an anchor point right here that's on the side. It's not in the floor. So in order to put a kitchen in here, the way that they want you to do it with the real expensive pieces is that they want you to take your floor out and then drill into the floor. And I was not willing to do that. So this is all it is. This is my floor. When you take this out, nothing's left. You have your original car back. So that's it. That's the kitchen system that we put in our 2023 Subaru Forester Wilderness. It's pretty easy to put in, take out. It is a little bit heavy, but with 2 people, it's pretty easy. But with that, you have a full kitchen, you have a pantry, you have a fridge, you have everything that you need to go on a multiple week trip and be comfortable and be able to eat out every time you want. So thanks for joining us. Later.